exactly. But there's other pastors that are like that too. I mean, sometimes when Pastor Tim is not around, they'll have other pastors, and some just are different the way they bring home that message. All right. 9.8. Graphing linear inequalities in the plane. Okay, graphing. So we're graphing linear inequalities. Okay, so we're graphing a line and we're dealing with inequalities. So when I say inequality, does anyone know what that means? Raise your hand.
Oh, I know what it is. I remember. Cheat?
No. Okay, we're talking about less than,
Oh, yeah.
greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. That's what an inequality is. Good. Okay. A shaded graph may be used to indicate all of the numbers that would make an inequality true. So shaded graph, you're going to be shading today. So I've taught y'all how to graph a linear equation. Okay, I've taught y'all how to graph a line, basically. Remember, linear, it has that word line in it. Okay, we've learned about the slope, the y-intercept. The y-intercept gets plotted first. You have to put it in that y equals mx plus b format, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you know how to actually graph a line. Now we're going to take it up a notch. You're going to do exactly the same thing we've been doing, but this time we're dealing with inequalities. Instead of an equal sign, y equals mx plus b, it's going to be y is less than mx plus b, or y is greater than and equal to mx plus b. Okay, and so there's going to be some shading going on. So a shaded graph may be used to indicate all of the numbers that would make an inequality true. Before, there would just be like one ordered pair or something like that. Now it's going to be all numbers that could work in the equation. All numbers that could work in the equation. Okay, there's a couple little tidbits that you need to have memorized. That's right, memorized. The first one, you know, when we draw these lines here, okay, in an inequality, they're either going to be a solid line, just like you see here, or they're going to be dashed. Okay, your graph, your line that you're graphing is either going to be dashed or solid. If it's dashed, that means the sign, the inequality sign, is either greater than or less than. That gives you a dashed line. So if your equation has greater than or less than, your line has to be dashed. Let me tell you something. When you're sitting there so focused on trying to graph the line correctly, you're going to forget that it's a dashed line. But I'm going to show you ways to help remind you when you're dealing with an inequality. If it's a solid line, it's going to be either greater than or equal to, or greater than and equal to, or less than and equal to. That is going to give you a solid line. And I'm telling you, people forget all the time. So dashed line is when it's greater than or less than. Solid line is, and you can remember solid because look, Joseph, look right here. Kelly, look right here. See this solid line underneath here? That's your clue. It's a solid line.
Also, the circles, like when we do it, they're close to.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Okay, so you see these lines right here? That means it's a solid line. Okay, do y'all understand that? Any questions so far? All right. Now, let's move on. If, 2 stars here, if you have a less than or less than and equal to, you're going to shade below line. This is shading. If you have greater than or greater than and equal to, you're going to shade above the line. So if it's less than or less than equal to, less than, below, kind of goes together, right? Greater than or greater than equal to, greater than, you're shading above the line. So those 4 right there, those 4 right there. Any questions? Okay. Y'all got it all down? Joseph, you got it down? Okay, so let's do an example. Let's say my equation is y is less than 5x plus 4. Okay. Let's, first thing, is this, and I want all y'all to look, is this in y equals mx plus b format? With the exception of the equals and inequality, is it in the correct format to be graphed? Yes, it is. Okay, it's in the correct format to be graphed. Okay, my next question, what is your slope? Joseph, what's the slope? All right, very good. 5/1. Y'all got to remember this. Y-intercept. Atalia? 4. Does everyone agree? Okay, now another question. So these are all important things, and I tell my students all the time, right before you graph, write down the important information. So the next thing is the kind of line. Based on this sign right here, is it going to be a solid or a dashed line, Kelly?
It's going to be a dash. Wait, no, it's going to be a dash line.
It's going to be dashed. Does everyone see that? Joseph, do you see this? So I'm going to write dashed. That's all I'm going to write. Dashed. So that when I start graphing, I'll remember. Okay, next question. Am I shading below or above? Raise your hand. Atalia? That's right. So I'm going to write shade below. All right, because this is less than. Do y'all see that, Joseph and Kelly? This is less than, So I'm shading below. So now I've written all my important information down. So I'm going to graph it. If you would like, or you could just watch it. It's entirely up to you. If you're struggling with this, then you may want to graph it. Okay.
I was wondering, do we always have to label the X and Y?
No, it just helps. Okay, so Joseph, what is the first thing that I label or plot on my graph?
The y-intercept.
Which is
4.
+4. So here it's y-intercept. So on the y-axis, not on the x, but on the y-axis, it's +4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That must be interesting after my homework. I was like, wait, what is it again? So I had to get my notebook.
Okay, does that make sense? All right, then I start at that and I do my slope. I can get, it's 5/1. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm losing space. So I'm going to instead go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1.
Oh, you can't, wait.
Remember the slope is 5/1, or you can do -5/-1. It gives you the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Negative over negative gives you positive. As long as they both are negative, you're safe. So I'm going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over 1.
Wait, why?
Just because I want 3 dots. You don't have to. It's more accurate. Okay, so now I've got my dots plotted because we did the y-intercept and the slope. I know it's a dashed line.
That must be pretty easy if you have an eraser. You just draw a line and then erase it.
And this, I mean, I even mess up when I'm doing this. It's a dashed line. So yeah, if you have a pencil, you definitely want to do it because you may actually mess up. Okay, so there's my dashed line, and it says shade below the line. So look at this line. It's tilted like this. So which side of the graph, the left or the right, would be considered below that pin? Atalia?
Right.
You're correct.
Oh, yeah.
If it's tilted like this, then all of a sudden this is below the line. This is above the line. If it was tilted like this, then this side would be below the pin. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's going to take practice. So below the pin is on this side. So we would lightly shade all of this area. And there's your answer. If you need to copy this down, you may. If not, then we can move on. Any questions?
Do we have to shade it in all the way, or do we?
No, just like that. Any questions? So we plotted the y-intercept at 4. We did the slope. Because of this inequality, it's a dashed line. And because it's less than, we shade below.
But also, why did you put or negative? Or it's a negative?
This because I had no more room to go up. So I went down and then left. Because if you have a negative over negative, that's positive, right?
Oh, which one of those is negative? The 5 for the 1.
Both of them.
Oh, there was a negative to begin. Oh,
No, this is the slope.
Okay.
But I can't go up because I've run out of room. So you're allowed to turn both into negative because a negative divided by negative is a positive. So you can absolutely go negative and negative and it gets you the same line. Okay, so I want you guys to now open your books to page 385.
Do we always have to do dots?
No.
It's just accuracy.
Yeah, that's just accuracy. Okay, page 385. I'll just do 2 to make you happy.
Yay.
All right.
Oh, I see how they shade it. 36.
385, dear. All right, it says determine whether the line on the graph of the solution should be dashed or solid. So I'm going to start with number 2. Kelly, look at the equation. And is that going to have a dashed or solid line?
That is, I've never used it. Hold on.
Well, you should have been there, dear. Joseph, number 2, dashed or solid?
Yeah.
That's right. Remember, if there's...
All right, if this is solid.
That's right. That's a dashed line. Does everyone see that?
I remember.
Number 4, Italia.
Solid.
6, Kelly.
That is a dash line.
I'm so trying.
I was like, am I wrong?
Dash? No, you're right. And then 8. Joseph,
8 solid.
any questions? You think you got it? All right, we're going to drop down to number 20.
I don't like to do a lot of graphs. You just take up a lot of paper.
Yeah, that does take a lot of paper. It's a lot.
Okay, if y'all want to draw this on your paper or get graph paper and do it with me, you may. Okay. Number 20, it says graph the solutions.
We like to columns and columns.
I might let you do that. Okay, so y is less than or equal to negative 1 over 5x plus 2.
I don't like it when they put the negative in the middle, because
But-
then I can never decipher which one. And
It doesn't matter.
And I think I keep thinking it's like the whole thing, but it's not.
Right, because if it's a regular fraction, yes, it'd be the whole thing. But when it's a slope, it's either the top number or the bottom number, and it's your choice. So, Talia, since Joseph determined the slope and y-intercept last time, I want you to tell me.
So
First of all, is this in the y equals mx plus b format? Very good. What is the slope?
negative 1 over 5.
Good. What is the y-intercept? Yeah, very good. Is this a solid or dashed line?
Solid.
And am I going to shade below or above?
Above or below? Sorry.
This is less than, so you are correct. Shade below. All right, so I'm going to, and again, if you want to draw this, you may. This is my y, this is my x. Okay, Talia, you may go up there. What's the first thing you plot?
You y-intercept
Which is?
2.
So where would the dot go? Perfect. Now, do the slope. Excellent. Good job. Down 1, then right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then solid line.
It's a solid line.
I'll try my best.
Yes.
It's not straight whatsoever.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Whatever.
I'm going to connect mine for the...
It's a sharp turn.
Yeah, yours is better than mine.
And then, but wait. Shade. And it says shade below, so where would you shade? Yes, she's correct. You would shade below. Any questions? Huh? Yeah. This is correct. Good job. Any questions? Kelly, any questions?
I actually got it this time, which is easy.
Good. Joseph, any questions?
Shading below because of the way it's going, right?
No, it's shading below because of this sign right here. It's less than or equal to, just less than, meaning you shade below.
What's our greater?
Huh?
Who is less or greater sign?
That's not a greater sign, that's a less than sign.
The less or greater sign. That's why it's shading.
No, if it's less than or less than and equal to, you shade below. Look at your notes.
I know what she's talking about.
I'm just saying because of the sign, it's shading in that direction. Okay. That's why this
Yes.
shading is because, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm confusing. Sorry.
All
I was
right.
trying to like get in the direction.
Let's look at 22.
No problem. Took up one whole page. Oh, sucks.
I don't like that word.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that was in
Y is less than negative 3x plus 2.
Why don't you like that word?
Just don't. Okay, so Kelly,
Yeah.
is this in y equals mx plus b format?
Yes, it is.
Okay, what is my slope?
The slope is. Let me just write.
Okay.
Negative 3 over 1.
What is the y-intercept?
Y-intercept is 2.
Very good. Now, is this a solid or dashed line?
It is a. Hold on, give me one. Dash the dash line.
It is dashed. And am I going to shade below or above?
You are going to shade below the line.
That's right. Okay. If you want to do this on your own, you can. Kelly's going to come do this one. This is my Y. This is my X. All right. Perfect. I'm not even going to say anything. All right.
Well, it's not really dot and just putting it there, so
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I erase it after.
Oh, there you go. She's right. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. Good job.
And then it's dashed. It's so much. Okay, I know.
Here, I'll do it. I'll do it. And then you can shade where it's supposed to be.
Perfect.
That was cool how Kelly did that.
That's the
She
one.
drew it and then took her finger and like.
That's one.
Oh, smart. Okay, then which direction are we shading?
I'm scared to do this because it's not very.
Yep. Below. Very good.
Do we have to shade it like that, or can we just like put like an arrow?
No.
You have to shade it, but not too much.
And you don't have to do a whole lot.
I just do like
Just
a line
like I
that's
do.
it.
All right, any questions? Nope. All right.
Hold on. Let me read it.
Oh, go ahead.
It's easier to do with pencils if it erases better.
You got it?
Yeah.
26. Joseph, 6x minus 2y is less than 12. Okay, is this in the y equals mx plus b format? What do we have to do to get it there? No. No. What do we have to do to get y all by itself over here? Subtract 6x on both sides. We have to move that whole term over there. So that cancels out, and I'm left with negative 2y is greater than negative 6x plus 12. Y'all definitely need to be writing this down. Does everyone understand what he did? All right, Joseph, what do I do now? We're dividing everything by negative 2. Now, Joseph, question. In inequalities, if I divide by a negative, what happens to the sign?
It flips.
Bingo, did y'all hear that? If we are dividing at the very last by a negative, this sign flips. So I get y is less than, and Joseph, negative over negative, positive divided by negative is, so negative 12 divided by 2. Okay, negative 6. Now, Joseph, is this in lowest terms?
No.
So y is less than 6 divided by 2 is?
Pardon the interruption, teachers, but if the alarm goes off, they are testing the system, so please disregard.
Okay, 6 divided by 2 is?
3.
So 3x minus 6. Does everyone see how he got that?
Yes, but isn't it supposed to be 3 over 1x?
This is the equation. You can say 3 over 1. It's the same thing as 3.
But aren't we when we're graphing it?
We're
we're
writing.
supposed to
But that's just the equation. If you want to put 3 over 1, that's fine.
Will the equation still be right?
Yeah. But you also have to understand that it's the same as just saying 3x.
I know. Just
Okay, so Joseph, what is the slope?
The slope is 3 over 1.
What is the y-intercept?
Negative 6.
Is it shade below or above?
Shade below.
And is it dashed or solid? Okay, what's important is, do y'all notice why we switched these inequality signs? Kelly, do you see why we switched it?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Because it's dividing.
by negative.
I think that's the one thing I'm going to forget.
That's the one thing I always forget. It's so easy to forget too.
Oops. Oh well. You can still see it. All right, Joseph. Why did I do that? X and Y. I'm really messing up.
I messed that up too.
Because I think you're thinking x first.
I guess. So, Joseph, you want me to do it so you could draw it? Or do you want to come up here? Do you want me to just do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the first thing we plot?
First thing we plot is our y-intercept, which is negative 6.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down here. And then our slope is 3 over 1, so I go 1, 2, 3, and over. It's a dashed line. And Joseph, we're shading below. Huh?
I'm still doing my dash.
That's okay. So you tell me which side we're going to. The right side. Are there any questions? Any questions?
Can I do the next problem?
No? I'm going to set y'all free.
Right, do it topic.
Because the only thing I've introduced that's different is dashed line and shading. Everything else, y'all have already done, right? Right? All right. So I'm setting you free. You are doing page 385. Numbers 1 through 7 odd, because that's real difficult to do. I know. And then,
It's gonna be so hard for us. It's very-
That's it, right?
right.
If it was, we'd be so done with this.
Yeah.
It'd be like 5 minutes.
Well, it'll take long.
21 to 31 odd.
It'll take
21 to 31 odd, that's 6 problems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 problems.
It'll take longer to graph.
Do Tuesday. That's right.
It's a graph that takes
So don't play around. Y'all got about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Your test, no, it's probably going to be like Thursday.
We can do this. Probably.
We can do this.
IXL due Wednesday.
Alright,
There we go.
I started in